Hello, everybody. This is Kevin Rankin with All Access Live. I'm glad to see you here on a beautiful Wednesday evening. I'm talking to you from Butte, Montana, the heart of America. And I know that you're excited to see my next guest. But before we get started, let me thank my sponsors at 5 Star Guitars. 5 Star Guitars is based in Beaverton, Oregon, which means that there's no sales tax. So if you're into guitars and you want to pick something up, hit this link below. 5starguitars.com/allaccesslive and enter that promo code of allaccess15. You'll get 15% off of those products plus no sales tax. So you're on the road, and the way to get a great affordable guitar, then you can get lessons and repairs. So go to 5starguitars.com. They can take care of all of that for you. Let them know I sent you. I also want to thank Abducted by the 80s. If you go to abductedbythe80s.com, you can see interviews with several of your favorite people from the 80s, and I just added their logo here. They have provided a special link for several fans of DIANE Franklin. So I want to introduce to you first a huge fan of DIANE Franklin and somebody that I'm a huge fan of, the guest host for tonight, Rob McLean from Copper City Signs, Butte, Montana. Thanks for being here, Rob. I appreciate it. Now,
thanks for letting me be your Andy to your Conan.
I don't know that I have Conan's wit, but the person who does is our special guest tonight. You know her from Better Off Dead, The Last American Virgin, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and my favorite person to have dinner with in the Dominican Republic. I've got DIANE Franklin. How are you, hun?
Bonjour.
Bonsoir. That's right. That's right. How are you?
I am good. I had to think about that for a second. No, I'm really good. Knock on wood. Lucky, happy, healthy, hanging in there. And I'm here. What could be better? So there you go.
You're. I like that you're quarantined safely in the dungeon in Los Angeles. Is that right?
Yes, I am. Okay. I'm like the hub, the main hub. Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I think the last time I saw you was the beginning of this thing at the Microsoft Theater. Is that right? Was it? Yeah. So It's been a little while, but you look younger, which is not fair because the pandemic has aged me. But you're doing something right.
No, you look fabulous. You look great.
It's the glasses. See, ask Rob. The glasses will cover up the dark circles, right?
That's
so
good.
It's true. Mine are even bigger because I have bigger circles.
Really big ones.
No, you forgot the memo about the glasses, DIANE.
Darn it. Wait, I've got reading glasses. Wait, hold on.
Oh, okay. Oh, look at those. And they're purple. Are they purple?
They are.
Okay.
They're a little smudgy.
I love it.
Oh my God. That's what everyone looks like now.
Hey, I wanted to catch people up. I mean, a lot of people know you from like your big pivotal roles. When I was looking for promo graphics, I thought about using some of the fun ones that we have because we've spent time on the beach with downtown Julie Brown and monkeys with your daughter, and we've had some pretty amazing laughs. And I will tell our fans, because Chuck Coverley is here. Chuck is actually one of those guys that was there at 80s in the Sand. Rob, he's heard some of these stories, but I got to say, there was one night I shared a little bit of that video clip, and you may have seen it, DIANE, where I was going around the table. And
it was great.
I have not laughed that hard since then. So I was going to ask, do you and Amanda and Curtis, do you guys do a lot of events together where you're sort of pitched together as the Better Off Dead cast?
No, I'm going to tell you what happened. Okay. First of all, 80s in the Sand is amazing. And if you haven't gone or heard about it, I highly recommend it. And obviously, and no one paid me to say this, all right? But here's when you bring that question up, I have to tell you this. So when I originally was going to 80s in the Sand, I got invited by Deborah Foreman, who did Valley Girl. Right. She was originally in it, and I was not. And when I heard about it, I was like, oh my God, these are my people. I must be there. It is fantastic. I have to go. So I just went, and it was the first year they did it. So I was set to go. Well, then there were a bunch of other celebrities who were supposed to go who backed out last minute and couldn't go. So that's when I thought of Curtis and Amanda. And I thought, this is going to be great. I mean, anyone who's a Better Off Dead fan is going to lose it. And it is, and I love them. They're awesome. So it was my idea. So I said, I'm going to bring them. So no, we have not done that before. And even conventions, there's always a convention and they'll invite Amanda, but they won't invite me. Or they'll invite Curtis and they won't invite Amanda. Or they'll, you know, it's like, they don't invite us all because maybe they want everyone to come to different conventions and sign. You know what I mean? But
yeah, but
when
you know,
it's up
more
to
bang
me, I bring everybody.
more bang for the buck, though. I mean, really, with that part of the cast, because the characters are so memorable, right?
Yeah,
and
I mean,
I love.
And yeah, I just want to also say I'm writing a book about it now, so that's something to know about in the future.
About Better Off Dead.
It is about Better Off Dead. It is all about Dead.
So my video clip. The video clip was Better Off Dead Secrets Revealed, remember? Because it was an impromptu thing. We walked around the table. We talked about certain things that people might not know.
Yes.
And now you're going to have to hide some of those secrets because your book is going to have to reveal those, right?
Yes. Yes. The only thing I can tell you is if you're listening to this podcast, please, follow me on social media because I've been working on this book for a while. I was going to have it come out last year. Last year was just such a hard year. I didn't want it to come out. And this year I'm still working on it, but I definitely want to get it out this year. And it is amazing.
Do you have a title?
It's amazing. And the more, because I don't want to just throw it out there. I really have been trying to get interviews and deeper information about it. So it's going to be really special. That's all I can say. It's from my heart, it's so there will be things you don't know.
Okay. Well, here's what I'm going to ask then. If we don't have any secrets that you can reveal about Better Off Dead, maybe there's something you could tell us about The Last American Virgin that people might not know. Because I see in the chat here, you've got
look, I can read the chat. I had no idea. I'm going to read it.
Mark Catrati says he's not ready to forgive you for what you did
Charles,
to Gary.
I apologize. Charles, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I should have exposed Gary. I'm just going to say it right there. All right. So hope all is forgiven. Yeah, I made the wrong choice. Even though I didn't write the script and wanted it changed.
Did you?
Let's see. Mexico. Oh my goodness.
We got fans from all over the world. So I do have social media links for Diane here in the bottom. So if you guys are watching, hit any of these links down below. Search her on Diane Franklin Group. Hit her on Twitter. Hit her on Instagram. Right. You'll find out about the book. But until then, I'm going to put you to work. I want to know what is something that everybody that's a big fan of Last American Virgin might not know.
Okay, let me think. Well, I'll tell you one thing. First of all, when I got the film, there's so many things. First of all, Lawrence Monahan was 17. I don't know if anyone knows that. He wasn't even legally supposed to do the movie, but he said he was 18. So that was the first thing.
That works.
Oops.
Take notes, kids.
Yeah. And the other thing was, I was so close, not even to, I almost didn't audition for Last American Virgin. I was so close not auditioning because I was going to college and I had a college exam and I thought, I have to study. It was the day of my midterm or something. And I was like, I'm not going to go on any auditions. I booked out with my manager. I said, I'm not going on the auditions at all. And when I took a look at the test, it was a chemistry test. I realized I had a better chance of getting a lead in a feature film than I did passing the test.
Really?
So, yes. So I definitely, that was interesting. So, I mean, I raced uptown. The director had already left, and I think it was just the producers, and it was just me meeting the producers, and they said to me, we like you, and we're gonna fly you next week to LA, and we'll decide then if you get the part. You're gonna meet the director, and I was like, oh, okay. And I mean, literally, it went that fast.
Wow.
And you know what? Somebody might not know. The only other girl that was in the running for Last American Virgin, and by the way, Boaz Davidson, who is wonderful. He's such a sweetheart. He looked at hundreds of girls. He looked at so many, like big names, small names. Like he looked at everyone. So it came down to me, another girl, and myself. So I was like the last minute person. They were going to have Christian Alfonso.
Oh, wow.
And Christian Alfonso was an actress, dark-haired, curly, kind of curly-ish, wavy-ish hair.
Yeah.
And here's I just found this out, which I thought was interesting. Christian Alfonso beautiful girl. I mean, stunning. When I was there, her picture was on the wall, and I saw her and I thought, wow, like, I mean, I guess they had thought they were going to have her in the film, and she got a soap opera, I think called Days of Our Lives. I think that's the soap. She took that job when she was probably 19 or something like that. Like, I was 19, so maybe I don't know, she was young. And she turned down Virgin because she got this soap opera, and then I got the part of Karen. But Kristen stayed on that soap opera until I think this year.
Wow.
Last year. And then they stopped it. She's been on that soap opera ever since she was the last American Virgin age. And I didn't even know that. So that's a fact that's fresh off the.
There you go. Are you, I think you're not regretting that you got that role. And you know what?
No.
I'm sure it worked out for both of you.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say with Last American Virgin, when I first did it, I was, like it was my first feature film. And I was a little bit like, I didn't know where it would go or what it would do. I certainly didn't think we'd be talking about it today.
Right.
I certainly didn't think, I didn't think that I would fall in love with the film as much as I have over the years. Because when I was younger, I loved the film, but I didn't see it from an adult perspective. And now I look at it and go, oh, like, I am a biatch, like I hate myself. Yeah. No, now I look at it and go, wow, like it's very interesting looking now and seeing how young I was. And also I have to say that one of the things that was interesting was playing a character that when, just like the people who are writing is, when I played that character, we all, I mean, Lawrence and Savage, I'm sorry, that's Better Off Dead, Steve Anton, and Kimmy Robertson, we all looked at the script and we were like, let's change this ending. I mean, all of us looked at the script and said, we're going to change this ending, Boaz, because this is not what you're going to do, right? And he was like, no, this is my book, my story, based on my true life. I'm going to do this. And he was very, relaxed and confident that he was not going to change the script. So we all had to adjust our behavior based on that. I mean, we really thought he's going to change it. So I, as my character, was like, okay, I'm going to play this really innocent. And I think the problem was that you just don't see it coming.
Yeah.
So,
you think that was the problem with the ending?
Yeah,
but,
you don't. Yeah, you don't see the ending.
That's one of the beauties of it.
That's what I think is what makes. I mean, why we sing this film because it's not a classic American ending. We all in America expect a happy ending. No, this is an ending that for the reason. I mean, that's why I think we're talking about it today. So let me see some of these comments. Like, oh my God, we love the 80s music. Yay, Felice. And
Felice wants to know how you feel about the 80s making comeback.
I didn't even know they really were coming. I mean, are the 80s back? I didn't even know. I'm just
okay. So I can tell you,
I think they've been making a comeback for a while. I mean, my daughter now is 25. And I started her on the 80s stuff, Better Off Dead, Breakfast Club, stuff like this, when she was younger. And I really think that humor still lasts. And I think that, the kids still get it, honestly. Yeah. Well, they think it's funny and quirky, but they think it's interesting, and they laugh.
Energy. I mean, I'm going to say, if anything, I've always loved the 80s because of the upbeat energy. And it is like, especially in a time where during the pandemic was such a down time, it lifted people's emotions and it took you out of what was going on here. So I think I can see definitely why the 80s are coming back in various waves. I mean, I know, for instance, okay, every generation, you're going to have people, the 90s are going to come back. It's all going to come back because all of us are grown up and we're reflecting and we bring back that to the kids and, we bring it back. But I'm actually happy that the 80s, I'm just happy people, are watching the old films again. And and that the younger people find value in that. And
absolutely,
as long as the haircuts don't come back.
Oh, the mullet's coming back.
Like
the mullet is coming.
The mullet, yeah. Well,
hair. I'm gonna have to grow my hair out again. So yeah, giant hair.
It's interesting because you asked about, are the 80s really coming back? With A Flock of Seagulls, it's been the most incredible thing. I mean, the last few years, we've had more shows booked. Unfortunately, the pandemic, it was the busiest year that we'd had booked to date. And so we had like 75 shows canceled this last year. But we've got a ton of concerts coming up this next year.
I'm so excited for you, Kevin. I'm really excited because that's...
Me too.
That's the beauty, like having it come back. By the way, I just want to say, look at that. Someone said, oh, Silver says, I don't think Hollywood could make a good Last American Virgin too politically incorrect. Yeah, I always thought it would be cool to make another Last American Virgin. Good thing.
Who would direct it?
Well, here's what happened. Steve Anton was going to direct. Boaz asked Steve Anton, who played Rick, to direct another Last American Virgin. And I know there were some, other people interested in making it. And I was like, oh my gosh, you have to. But you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to do a contest where everybody makes the last scene and changes it.
Oh, yeah.
Film
Great.
it. I was just thinking that recently. I thought I'd love to do a contest where, because there's so many filmmakers out there. Wouldn't it be cool? Because I saw one person who sent me a film. They refilmed the ending. And I thought, wow, there's so many versions of this. I would love to see it. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe through your show. I don't know. We'll make it happen.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm sure there are some film folks out there. I know that Rob and Susan in the back room there's a lot of connection to film as well.
Right? Even just that last scene, redoing it. That'd be interesting.
That's a beautiful idea, because then it would actually bring all the attention back to the movie again and bring a whole new generation into it.
Yeah.
What I was going to say about the 80s music is that when we play these shows, we have 3 distinctly different age groups that are at these shows. We'll have folks that are in their 60s. We'll have folks in their 40s. We'll have teenagers, because the video games and the movies are all playing these songs. And so all the movies that are coming out now that sort of typify, the 80s sort of ideal, they've got A Flock of Seagulls, or they've got, Wang Chung and these other bands. So for us, it's great because it keeps it relevant, and, my kids know about it. Rob's kids know about it. And, I know that you've got a daughter who's also in the industry, and she's, I'm sure, not only proud of her mom for the impact that you made in the 80s, but you've sort of carried it on to this day. I don't know how many people know about your involvement in acting classes and voice coaching and all this other work. So we can go through some of the other movie stuff, but tell me a little bit about what you've been doing aside from acting.
Okay. So I have a very interesting life, and I'm probably going to have to write like a lot of books to just cover all the things I do. But I think the thing that's interesting is, bringing it back. Okay. So the first thing I want to say is, as a young actress, my goal when I was younger was I wanted to try all different aspects of acting. Commercials, theaters, soap opera, film, movies, television shows, just all different aspects, horror, comedy, sci-fi. Like my goal was just to, because I'm a creative person, so I really like that aspect. So that was my original desire. And then I wound up having a family, and I wanted to raise my own kids. I have a son and a daughter. My son is a musician. His name is Dino DeLaurentis. He's on Spotify. If you listen to his music, beautiful, just like beautiful musician. Like, his music is gorgeous. It's like poetry. It's like beautiful. And he plays the upright bass and the double.
Nice.
Yeah, he's actually a classical player. He plays an orchestra. He plays in a classical orchestra as well, symphony thing. But he's 21, and my daughter, 24, Olivia DeLaurentis, and you will see her. She's a comedian, and she's a comedian actress. So she is on Snapchat. She has a show called Apocalypse Goals, and she's also gone viral with her comedy partner, Sydney Heller, and on Sid and Olivia on TikTok. Check out Sid and Olivia on TikTok. I think they just got like 4 million likes or something for something that they just did. So she's up and coming.
Awesome. Olivia DeLaurentis.
TikTok. We're like,
that's,
yeah. Check that out.
Yeah. I think looking at the way that social media has sort of changed things too, I mean, that brings in this younger generation too. So I see that a lot of people in the chat have talked about how their kids are really involved because they hear 80s and they're exposed to it all the time. But it's funny that if you see like the memes and you see TikTok clips that go through, so much of that uses 80s references, right? There are memes that are out there that are 80s references. And so, you know, the 90s will come through. You're right. It's a generational sort of thing. But the difference in the 80s, and I will say, you mentioned it about films, but music, it was a time where you didn't worry about bills and taxes and politics and have to worry about, you know, like these horrible relations. I mean, you had breakups, of course, but the time in the 80s that you remember were the songs you listened to when you were making out or roller skating or hanging out, you know? Exactly. I do remember making out.
But yes, you do remember making out. By the way, I want to say hello, Rudy. I send you a kiss. And Silver, hi. And Bruce, awesome to meet you. And bonjour, Charles. Again, I just want to say hello to these people. All right.
You're so good about, you know, you've always been this way. I know that when fans approached you on the beach, you take time to take pictures with everybody. And you'd get throngs of people just like throwing themselves at you. So you're good at allowing an opportunity without letting them get too close. You know, it's tough, right? Because how do you find a way to establish boundaries where you can still seem engaging, but not seem like you're aloof and distant?
Well, you know, first of all, I'm seriously complimented. I mean, honestly, I'm a little older, and so now it's all gravy. Now it's like, ooh, it's a compliment, you know. But I think when I was younger, I probably would have been a little bit more like I said with Virgin, you know. I think when it first came out, I was like, you know, is somebody like, do they say they like me because, you know, they've seen me in a movie, or like, really, what's it about, you know? Or even, you know, I will say this, you know, you saying, you know, Last American Virgin kicked off my entire career. Even Better Off Dead, Savage Steve Holland hired me because he saw me in Last American Virgin and, you know, fell for me. Like, you know, all these different, you know, films, you know, people, I mean, filmmakers and directors are people too, and they all like watch these things, and you know, it starts their imagination going. And so how do I deal with it? You know, certainly, first of all, I never take it for granted, because I think I'm actually I know this is hard to fathom, but I'm actually a shy person deep down. I'm like a shy person. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah,
I don't have it. I can't.
You never know. You never know. But see, here's what it is. I learned the gift of gab later on in life. I didn't, when I was young, I was very shy, but I was, and I'm a kind of person that always feels that, I want to work for what I get, and, I like to put in, and, so in answer to your question way before, you asked me what I was doing now too, and I am still acting. So not only am I teaching, and I'll go to that too, but I'm acting. I got into Amityville Murders, and I have another film coming out April 20th called High Hopes with Jennifer Tilly, Tom Arnold, and Cloris Leachman.
Oh, wow.
And it's about high hopes. So
on 420 too. April 20th is when it comes out.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I have another movie coming out. It's a secret project, and I can't say anything, but maybe like in 2 weeks it might come out. So the word will come out, and that's very, very exciting. And it involves Olivia and someone else, and it's very exciting. So we'll see what that is. But I always have something going on, and I like to surprise people with good things, and I have good energy, and I have good things to say. So how do I deal with people? I think it's I just come from a good place. And I feel like I want to bring happiness to people. And I just
did anyone approach you about the new Bill and Ted's or anything, or did they? Is that a bad subject? I don't know. I don't know.
No. It's a very good subject.
Okay.
Very good subject. No, and I'm telling you, you know, it's so fascinating. Kimberly and I wanted to do Bill and Ted's 3 so badly. We started probably putting our feelers out a year before the project even got the go-ahead. And we just let the producers know we are available, we are interested. And we are
the princesses.
We are the princesses. I don't even know if they wrote it yet. Who knows? But we said, look, if you need us, we're there. You know, we'll find a way to get there, and we're going to do it. And what we found was, and I can't say, but it's definitely not. It was not because we didn't want to do it. It was because I think it had something to do with younger people being involved, more liking younger people. I'm not going to be held to that, but I do feel like at a certain point, this is going to become something. I really feel like, I really feel like the issue of Bill and Ted's, I don't think it's over, but there've been so many other things to focus on in the world.
Yeah.
I think it's more important. And certainly when Bill and Ted's came out, my feeling is I only want good energy. That film came out, first of all, we only need good energy during the pandemic. And second of all, I was part of it. I'm grateful for that. That was awesome.
Amen.
I don't think it's okay for them to kind of do what they did. And by the way, this wasn't just the third one. This was the second one as well. We really thought we were going to be the second one, and we're very surprised when we weren't. And we were told that it was the director's decision. And I got to tell you, I'm not going to say zip.
Okay. Yeah. I got to tell you.
Yeah. But anyway, what made me feel really good was the fans that were saying, hey, why not? What's going on here? And so I think that really matters. And by the way, I have to also interject, because of that, Kimberly and I have actually started a company together called The Princess Network. So that we've actually moved together. And if you look up The Princess Network on the internet, you will find Kimberly and I a company that we're starting that is just starting out, and it is going to branch into bigger things. So the princesses are not gone yet.
What ultimately, what would you love the Princess Network to evolve into?
I think certainly women, anyone even who identifies as a woman, positive, strong empowerment, I guess, and but also femininity. I think one of the things about Kim and I, which we agree on, is, just because you are a strong person on the inside and you go after your dreams, you don't have to lose your femininity. And so we're very much about just being able to be feminine and, dress and like, for instance, here's a weird thing, for instance, everyone waits for their wedding day to wear that beautiful dress. Yeah. I mean, okay, white, but still wear that beautiful dress with everything on and like makeup and everything. Why can't we wear just beautiful things all the time?
Yeah.
Why is that? And it's almost like you have to wait for that day to put that on. And by the way, today, you can get clothes and they're not that expensive, but you can look beautiful and you can, I don't know, for me, it's sort of like a thing where, why do we have to wait? And why are women beholden to that when they can be beautiful as much as they like, whenever they like? And
so can Kevin, so can guys. Kevin, you can be beautiful too.
Kevin,
you are beautiful.
I
had the wedding dress on before, but I'm in Butte, Montana, which is kind of frowned upon. So
right.
You're not
wear a wedding dress. Go for it.
You know what? You have a really great platform for that. And I've seen you and Kimberly in full getup, which is beautiful. And you have the femininity. You exude the princesses, and it's not just like an act. When you guys are together, I can see that this is something that just naturally comes out of you guys, which is fun. And, and it brings fun, entertainment too. Speaking of fun, Kelly Sweet from the Dominican, our wonderful photographer, she's here. She misses your face. And Luke Duran, my other favorite bass player, he's here watching.
Hi, Luke. How are you? Luke Duran. Bonjour.
Luke Duran and I watched many a Better Off Dead over and over again on touring days. He's another old bandmate of mine. And I will tell you, Diane, I don't know if you've heard this every single Comic-Con, every time that you talk to people about Better Off Dead. I know people come up and they quote every line. They talk about French fries, and you do love it. I know it's great. It's crazy. That you don't,
but it's funny. That's why I think it's hilarious. I actually saw John Cusack at a convention, and I said to John, we have to do something together. We should, imagine if Better Off Dead came back and we were in it as adults. I mean, people go crazy, you know?
Yeah.
He's not warmed up yet, but he is warmed up to the fact that he does like Better Off Dead now. Like, he's like, okay with it. But before, I think people were like, I don't know if he likes it. But now he's like, I think he's just surprised that people still remember it and are in love with it. You know, just, it's fun.
It holds up. That's the thing, right? I mean, because there were silly movies from that era that if you go back and you watch now, and
Perfectly White Boy, yeah, right. Perfectly Good White Boy, right?
Yeah, it's like lots of good quotes in the chat.
Yeah, I think very good, Mike. Mark.
If you show, if you show young teenager that movie now, they still get it. It's still relevant, even if we don't have social media and people using like iPhones in the movie. The just the awkwardness of being a teenager, and the Ricky character. So many people could relate. Of course, Lane. I mean, everybody was Lane, and they couldn't stand that evil Beth for being such a, but in reality, she is the sweetest person on that. Oh my God. And I was grateful to see that, because when I remember thinking,
you wouldn't know that until you met her. That's right. You see her as the character.
Yeah. You automatically think, she's going to be a bitch, right? I'm afraid to approach her because she's going to be, but not at all. She's so like you, but Monique was never a bitch. She was the savior. She was the one that, you were.
If you saw me in a movie called Summergirl, you would be afraid of me. Summergirl, I think you can see it on YouTube. You would be terrified of me. I went to a wedding once, and someone came up to us and said, was glaring at me, and we were like, yeah, I saw you in this movie of the week called Summergirl, and I just don't like you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what's happening? And it was because I played a crazy killer babysitter.
Oh,
I
wow.
mean, I guess that's what happened.
Yeah. Rob he knows a lot about you and your career. We were talking about this a little bit. And Rob's, been involved in a lot of theater, a lot of film.
Wow.
So Rob, like, if you, so now Rob, you've got the director's hat. You're going to cast Diane in a movie of your choosing. So say another iconic movie from our younger days. Put Diane in that role. Where do you think she would fit best?
Well, for one, Diane, you're so diverse. I mean, Amityville, to
Paravision,
Off Dead, and Bill and Ted's. I mean, it's all kind of. You're like you could fit in anywhere. Honestly, I mean, comedy, drama. I don't know anything.
You know what? I'm going to throw one out there. Because you mentioned, this serial killer type. I could actually see you as Marie Starling in Silence of the Lambs. I could see you as, FBI.
Oh yeah, totally.
Totally. The Jodie Foster character. She's tough. While she's not very feminine in that movie, there is a femininity, and she's the bridge between empathy and having to be this hardened, callous character, right? Connecting with the serial killer. I could totally see you pulling that one off. So, and actually, I know that there's a new series called. Well, because
I like that. I like that because it's an interesting casting. It's I like that, and I've always wanted to play someone tough, but when you put me in a room with other tough people. It's like, no, we'll have her play soft, but it is fascinating. But I will tell you, based on what you're saying, I'm going to tell you some funny things. And imagine this had happened. I auditioned for The Exorcist.
Oh my God.
I got a call back for Flashdance.
Wow.
Really? Jennifer Beals character? Hold on.
I got a call back.
Wait, hold on.
I know, right?
No,
I know, imagine that.
I'm picturing you right now in those leg warmers and a bucket of water.
And I danced too, so I would have been like dancing. Yeah, I didn't.
Tell your husband to turn off the TV for a second. Oh my God. Okay. Did you say? Oh man, can we recreate that at 80s in the Sand?
I would love to. Let's do that.
Okay.
And I'll do the fast running with the feet.
Steve Robinson, if you're watching right now, 80s in the Sand, Cancun in October. Diane Franklin is going to be the next Flashdance. All right.
I already have my tickets.
All right.
I'll get all wet.
Oh yeah, I don't have any.
I love these. Okay, so you said that was a callback that you got for Flashdance?
Yeah, I got a callback for that in New York.
Okay.
Amazing.
Okay.
Oh, wait, and that's why this is so much fun, because there's so many, remember, when I was acting, I started really going for audition, 12 years old. And
okay, so like 4 years ago?
Auditioning, it was myself, Elizabeth Shue, who we always knew as Lisa Shue, Lori Loughlin, Brooke Shields, Felice Schachter. I don't know if you know her. Oh my gosh, this other girl. Like, we would all audition in New York. We were New York models. We'd see each other over and over again. We all started with modeling, and then we got into commercials, and so we were like old school. We've been in the business for a long time, all of us. Lori Loughlin used to be with my manager. We had the same manager, and the manager maybe represented 7 girls or something. So that's bizarre, right? Anyway,
yeah.
But anyway, I'm going to give you another one. Karate Kid, I was screen tested for. It was between Elizabeth, myself, and one other girl.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
And you guys were friends. So is that tough going out in an audition with your buddy, knowing one of us may get this? And
yeah, you were not that everybody. It was an interesting thing. I mean, and I'm sure that's what happens nowadays, is that you see people again and again, but it's all in passing, because you're going in and they're leaving the room.
Right.
Or you're all sitting and you're working on your lines, and then they call you in. So you're not chit-chatting, you're focusing on your work. And, I have to say that, some of it's very heartbreaking, some of it's, there's so many. I have an interesting one. It was for, now this is bizarre because we're so different and different ages. The first, where are you going, or what are you doing? It was based on a short story or something. And Laura Dern, it was her first project.
Really? Wow.
And that project I turned down. And it was because I turned it down because it was such a similar character to so many characters that I played. And Laura Dern got it. And it was, it was, in fact, I regret it. I wish that I had done it, but it's on TV or somewhere. It's somewhere. Where are you going? What are you doing? It's based on some kind of thing. But look up Laura Dern's first project.
Okay.
This is the thing that made her. It was critically acclaimed, and it went crazy. So anyway,
I'm loving these, the audition stories, the ones that the almost.
Which is convention, and then of course the classic, and I write about this in my book too. My first book is Amadeus.
Really?
That was the closest. I mean, literally, not only did I flew to New York for the audition. I met the Milos Forman. I worked with him as the director. They flew Elizabeth Berridge and I to Prague together with producer Saul Zantz in the same plane. We went in the same plane, and then we get on this little commuter plane, and it's squished, and it's dangerous. The plane's going like this, and we get to Prague, and we audition for every single, in full costume, every single scene in the entire film in full costume.
Wow!
Because the original girl who got the part of Costanza was Meg Tilly. And I'm actually friends with Jennifer Tilly, her sister.
Some of these names you're throwing out there.
It's so Meg got it. She broke her leg. So we were rushed in, and it was either Elizabeth and I, and we auditioned every scene in the film, and then they couldn't make up their mind, and they had us do it again. And I mean, so it's and I have some footage from this too still. So at some point.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might put it out in something special. But fascinating. I mean, then that would have taken my career in a totally different direction. And I would not have been better off dead. I probably would not have ever been offered that part, gone for it, because it would have been total A-list, or I would have just been known as the, Costanza.
Well, okay. So what happens after something like that when a part doesn't work out? You don't make the audition. Is that just weeks, months of just depression and feeling like this is not for me? I mean, tell me that.
When I got, well, what happened was when I got that audition, I had done back-to-back projects. So, but I had done a movie of the week called Deadly Lessons. Then I did SUMMERGIRL right after it. And then I got this audition for where I was flown to Prague to audition. And I was so exhausted by the time that I did that audition that when I didn't get it, like I burst into tears. I was so sad, but I also was like, I thought I'm not going to do a good job on this because I'm so burnt. And I thought, okay, at least, you know, I really was feeling like at the time, you know, at least the project is more important. And so if she gave them what they needed, then bravo to her, like go for it. You know, like as long as the project comes first with anything you do, you know, it's most important that the vision of the director works and that it's right. But I definitely like all that pressure and keeping it in and just like keeping it together more is what I'm saying in the situation. That was exhausting. And that was just like, you know, I remember being in my hotel room in Prague. The night we auditioned, we did every scene in the film. And then that night, you know, right before we thought, oh, we're done. You know, they're going to make a decision. They were like, tomorrow we're going to do it all over again. We're going to go through all the scenes again. And I just went to my room and I just remember laying on the bed, just laying flat and going, oh my gosh, the pressure. And I was 20.
Wow. Yeah.
No parents, just me. I mean, imagine, and those of you with kids, like I think of my own daughter thinking like, is she alone in a foreign country by herself, screen testing for one of the biggest films in the world. And I was ready. I was primed because I started, you know, 10 years before or 9 years before. So I was really ready to handle it intellectually and emotionally, but I was still like, I had to pace myself, you know, and I think that's what's so fascinating about actors is that, you know, you can be a really good actor, you can know what you're doing, but do you have the capacity to handle it emotionally? And I don't think that's for everyone. I think you have to be able to be a pretty strong person to understand that you can feel something and you can commit to your part and you can do all the technical things correctly and you can get into your character, but that you're also a person too. And that you're like, okay, like your own emotions and your own thing is like, you know, take a deep breath and just rested, took it easy that night. And then the next day, like just did my best, like nailed it. Like I did nail it. And that's the one thing I have to say.
Do you ever feel like, you know, look back and go like, you know, afterwards you don't get the part and you're like, what did I do wrong? I mean, does that,
you know what I thought? You know what I thought? Because I thought I did really well. I went, well, I guess they just don't get it. They lost. They just didn't get it. I mean, for whatever their reason, I thought they just went in the direction they thought, but I know that I could have done an amazing job. But
that's an amazing attitude.
At 20, that's really,
at 20 years old.
I mean, and I'm not saying I didn't burst. I wasn't crying or anything, but I have no bitter feelings, and I didn't have any bitter feelings even after that because I felt I was really fortunate, very gifted, like lucky in my life that I had gotten this far anyway. So, and I thought, you know, whatever happens, happens. I have no control over that. Just like you're looking at me and you're saying, what could I cast her in? You know, today, I mean, I still, if you told me that I would have done Amityville recently, I was like, that is a dream come true. How is that possible? So you just never know. You know, sometimes when you say, oh, I give up, whatever, you know, it's not, you know, you don't give yourself a chance. So I don't come from a place of like, I have to do this, but I come from a place of, you know, I'm just going to lay it out there. And if someone finds me right for a role, that's their choice. It's not mine. Sure. My job is to always just do my best. And, you know,
as an acting teacher and an acting coach, it seems like that's the best attitude to bring, right? So because somebody might roll into LA thinking that, you know, because they acted in some theater projects back home, that they've got the chops to be able to pull, you know, a major either network, you know, TV show or movie, but they may be too thin-skinned to really handle some of the rejection that you get, right? So how do you help them cope with that?
Okay, by the way, hello, Kelly.
You're like an acting therapist.
Rudy, I'm going to say anything I'm seeing. Look here. Oh, is that Fritz? I love Fritz. I love the name, way you spell your name. That is so cool. Awesome. And hi, Silver again. Your phone is dying. I'm sorry about that. All right. Silver's phone is dying. All right. So as an acting teacher, I'm going to say this, and I tell my students this because this is what I used to do. When you get an opportunity to audition for something, audition as if you already got the part.
Sure. Why
do we have to wait for permission to commit to the role when you could just enjoy it and be it? You know, so like for me, what I think is interesting when I go for read for things or audition for things, I will try to do it in the version of how I would be performing it if I did it. Okay. And then, you know, if that's not what people are looking for, well, then they'll at least go, oh, well, she's really committed and knows, you know, and so there'll be something else. So you don't lose anything by just doing what you love. You know, but I will say this to a lot of actors, if you, because I do work with a lot of younger actors, and I would have to say, if you're an actor that's been working, and you're doing it, and you're fighting the fight, and you're going in, and yes, it is exhausting, and yes, make sure you have some kind of income somewhere so that you don't stress yourself out of neediness, because neediness can be smelled a million miles away. Really? You cannot come to an audition needy. You got to come with, you know what? If this works, great. If it doesn't, there'll be something else. You have to come from that place, because it is not the obligation of the people who hire you to support you.
Right.
You know, it is not their obligation. It is their obligation to make a film that they have in their vision, that their mind. And I would say that, and there's other things, like sometimes you might go for a project and you know, you just don't feel it's you. And there's been many times where I've gone for something and I thought, oh, why am I going for this? Because it's not me.
Yeah.
But I commit and then I just let it go. And then I get it. And I'm like, oh, that's bizarre. How did I even get that? Like, I wasn't something I even thought I was right for. So again, it's not your job as the actor to decide. I would say today though, because of the internet and YouTube, if you want to be more in control of what the content is, create your own content. I mean, if I was you at this age, like if I was starting out, I'd create my own show. I would. I mean, I would just use my imagination and I would show what I wanted others to see.
Yeah.
You know, if I wanted to see my dramatic work, I would create a show that's dramatic and, make it happen.
I love that tenacity and that sort of fortitude. I was going to ask you about that situation where you said you saw a role that you thought, this is just not me. Why am I going for this? Then you got it. Are you able then at that point to explain or somehow work in your personality so that it becomes you? Or do you just go full into, all right, they wrote this, they cast it a certain way, they wrote this script, I need to adhere to the script versus the DIANE FRANKLIN way?
Well, usually if you get it, then there's something about it you're doing that they like. And if it's the job to me of the director is to guide you into what they need. So, and that I love when directors direct. Like they go, okay, I need a little bit of this more or that, or can, I want to see like the neediness in the scene, or I want to see the, or hold it back. Like I just, whatever it is, hold it. I love that because that is the creative process. There is nothing better than working with other people who like you meet in the middle. It's even better if I know what a role is like and I just go and do it. Well, yeah, that's good. But it's so great when a director comes in and goes, oh, I love what you're doing. Now let's try this too. And you're like, ooh, so like now you're free because now you're going, okay, they see what my vision is and now we can add to that. So
that's great.
Yeah, but I will say another thing that's really important to actors, or I think people in general, very important piece of information for anyone who wants to be successful. All right.
Okay.
So
take notes, everybody.
Are we ready to play a game? I'm going to play a game with you, Kevin, and
Rob.
All right, we're going to play a game. All right. So if I'm going to say we're going to have a party. Look, we're going to have a party. All right. Now I want you to say no and give me a reason. Okay. So, Rob, we're going to have a party.
No way. I have a showing tomorrow. You can't come in my house.
Okay. All right. Fine. Good reason. Fine. Okay. Kevin, we're going to have a party.
We cannot. Absolutely. I'm on house arrest right now, and if my probation officer finds out about it, I'm...
Okay. Well, I guess you have good reasons. Okay, listen. So out of the three, so out of the two, let's say for two of you, what are the chances of us having a party? If 0 is 0 and 10 is the absolutely having a party, 0 is it's from 0 to 10. What's the chances right now?
Man, there's no way I'm going to jeopardize my probation. It's 0.
50% for me, maybe.
There you go.
I can clean up before the showing. It's okay. I can clean up.
Okay, well, based on your answers to me with no, if you're both saying no, it's 0%. All right? Okay, we're going to start with that. 0. All right? So if you have an audition or you have something in your life and you say no, guess what? Nothing's going to happen. You're not, your career, your dreams, nothing, 0, 0, no, zip, stop. All right. Yeah. Now we're going to try it a different way. I want you to say yes, but. All right. And I want you to find a problem. Okay. So, Kevin, guess what? We're gonna have a party.
Oh, that sounds so great. But I have a million women that want to go, and I don't know which ones to invite without making the other ones feel bad.
Well, that is a problem.
It is.
You're gonna have to figure that one. I don't know about that. All right, let's try Rob. Rob, we're gonna have a party.
Yes! Yes! Oh, we all have to wear masks.
Ooh, yeah.
But we have to wear masks. All right. Well, okay, so what's the percentage of us being able to have a party right now?
We're having a party. 100%. 100%.
No,
100%.
Even though I said but,
all right.
The people that we're inviting, they're not going to want to come, right?
You said yes, but guess what? You
had
a problem. Both of you.
If I say yes and,
50%.
the answer is yes and.
All right. So when everybody says yes and they have a but, have a but. If you have a but, that means there's a problem,
right?
And that you're not. You got to learn to solve that problem before it becomes at 100%. So if you're a person who has a lot of buts in your life, and I don't mean the good kind, then you have to look and evaluate how that gets in your way.
Yeah.
You know why your dreams or your success or whatever you want to do, whether I don't, whatever it is, get married, take a trip, but whatever, have a good relationship. If there's that but, you are stopping yourself. Now, the last thing we're going to do, yes and, all right?
And.
You're going to add something to the party, or you're going to find a solution to your problem. All right? We're going to have a party, Kevin.
Yes, and I have a big enough house that we can be socially distant, wear masks if we want to, but if we're distant enough, all those thousands of girls that I'm inviting can be there.
Now we're talking. All right. Okay. All right. It's all up to Rob. Rob, we're going to have a party.
Yes! And we're going to have it at Kevin's house. There's plenty of rooms and we can socially distance and everything. He's totally cool with it.
Great. What are the chances of this party happening?
It's going on.
It's going on.
It's happening 100%.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So what we're talking about is when you're with people, if you are with people who are budding, or if you're with people who are knowing, things are not going to move forward. And especially when you're acting or when you're working with a crew, we talk about Better Off Dead. Why was Better Off Dead so unbelievable? Because everybody was yes-anding. There was nobody who was going, I want to, but even John, I'm telling you, John had a blast. We had a blast doing the film. So what I'm trying to say to you is, in life, yes, and do that.
Absolutely.
There's my little Diane Franklin acting lesson.
I will say,
words to live by.
In life and relationships.
Yes,
and relationships.
exactly.
Yes.
This was across the board. Let me
across
see.
the board.
Dog catcher, Steyer. Hi, dog catcher. Nice. And wait, is there Bella? And Bella Musica. Oh, très bon.
Let me say, you had just said, even John Cusack had fun in this. So John is notoriously a little bit cranky outside this, right? So but he was hilarious in the movie, and he's a wonderful comic actor. So
he was wonderful. Better off.
Yeah, I would have.
Great.
I would have, and he was young enough maybe that he hadn't been jaded yet, right? So
it was very early in his career. Yeah.
Right.
And I think afterwards, look, here's the other thing too. The one thing as an actor is maybe you want to be a serious actor. Maybe you want to do just serious, heavy, deep work. But when you are, let's say, taking work when you're very young, maybe that credit was something that didn't represent you. Sure. And John didn't want to be taken more seriously. And I think the problem was at the time, he didn't maybe necessarily, or over the years, now he sees more, how endearing he was and how much he helped the world with that film.
Absolutely. Yeah, the underdog. Oh my gosh. He was so much more relatable than any of those other characters in so many of those other movies, right? I mean, he was the Anthony Michael Hall of that, that movie, right? So,
yes, Anthony Michael Hall was so wonderful.
Kelly Sweet, you're here asking about Last American Virgin. What you need to do is you need to subscribe to this on YouTube. Run over to YouTube really quick, subscribe to it, because you can watch this right afterward. You can see this archived on YouTube. So go to youtube.com/allaccesslive with Kevin Rankin, and then you can see what she talked about a bit ago, talking about Last American Virgin.
Kristen.
Now, Kristen Rube, you saw her there too. So Kristen's our sweet friend from Texas who happens to be at all the 80s in the Sand events. And you've got fans everywhere. It's amazing. What I was going to ask you was about international fans of yours. Do you find that you go over to, say, Europe and you've got a follow-in because of these movies?
Well, I'm glad you said that. I get fan mail from Europe.
Okay.
I have been to London. I do this thing called the Misty Moon. I participate in a Misty Moon convention, not convention, but it's a gallery. And they've had me in London a couple of years ago. I think they want me to come again this year. So I may be in London in the fall if all goes well.
Right.
But I haven't done any conventions in Europe, and I would love to. But I am getting more and more fans from Europe, which is so wonderful. And I'd love to go to Australia. And look, Mark says, mentioned Second Time Lucky. Nice.
He wants to know how old you were in it.
Yeah, I was 20. How old was I? Wait, 23, I think.
Okay, when he says edgy, so I haven't seen the movie. So tell me what you interpret as edgy from that.
Okay, well, let's put it this way. Okay, here's how we go. It's the story of Adam and Eve through time.
Oh.
And so let's just say that I am very realistic as Eve.
Really? Oh my goodness.
Certainly as Eve at the beginning, for sure. And the film is like, the tone is of the film is Gone with the Wind meets Benny Hill.
Oh, wow. Oh my God. Wow. Yep. Okay.
Gonna have to hit beautifully shot film. And it is so corny and sexy, and it is very hilarious. But I've shot some of the most beautiful scenes I ever did. I mean, gorgeous. And it was the first time I ever did a French accent. In fact, that's what kept me Better Off Dead. I play a French nurse, and in the film, I play because it's Adam and Eve traveling through time. So we go to we're in Roman times, and then we go to oh my goodness, World War I. I think I play a French nurse there, and then it's the speakeasy time, and then it's the future. And it just goes to all these different time periods. But some beautiful. Well, I can't explain it. You'll have to see it.
I look forward to it. Yeah. No, what's your favorite role? I know that there are pivotal roles that made a big difference. And I was just, while you're thinking about that, I was just thinking about some of those auditions that didn't happen. One of the things so we play a lot with other 80s bands, right? So we do a lot of shows with Berlin. And I remember talking to Terry about, remember the audition that she didn't get?
No, tell me. I don't know about
her big acting role. She and Carrie Fisher were the ones that were going for Princess Leia. One got it, one didn't. So,
right.
Yeah, so, you would have been a great Princess Leia.
Yeah, but Carrie Fisher, I can't see anybody else but, right?
Yeah.
And Terry's done just fine with her music career, right? So.
Oh, I have a good one for you. You know who else was up for? Who originally they were thinking about for TerrorVision?
Don't say Ron Jeremy.
No. No, for my role in TerrorVision was supposed to be. What was her name? She's a singer, and is it
Cynthia Rhodes?
No, you'll know this person.
Yeah.
Does anybody know the person I'm
Yeah, in the chat here. Come on, one of you 80s fans.
It's Belinda
Carlisle.
I think so.
Okay.
I think they were thinking of having her. Or I don't know if she even went for it, but maybe that was the idea of the style. I don't know. Isn't that funny?
Well, I can't wait to see TerraVision. I haven't seen it yet. So
you will love TerraVision. Have you seen it, Rob?
No, Kevin, do you want to? Hey, I'm having a party tonight, and we're gonna watch.
Yeah, you're having a party. Yes,
I'm wearing a mask. I have my mask, and I think if we have an opportunity to go back, because video stores are gone, right? So we got to find streaming solutions.
Video stores, I love them.
There's one, the last Blockbuster, right? It's in Bend, Oregon. But so I was asking you, your pivotal movie, the one that you're most proud of, and it doesn't have to be the most successful, doesn't have to be the most memorable to cult classics, but which is one that you, if your kids knew nothing about your film career and you had taken a break and all of a sudden they got to adulthood and you said, I did this old movie back then, what would that movie be?
I have to say Better Off Dead.
Yeah.
Have to be Better Off Dead.
It's
Although
great.
I really love my acting in this Amityville Murders that is out now, but Better Off Dead is the closest to my heart and closest to who I am. I just love that film. And I just think it's funny. It's just a funny film. It
is so funny. And, it was definitely one of the ones that I watched the most as a teenager. And I crushed on you so hard. But tell your husband not to listen to that. But Rob too. That's why we're here.
Rob.
No, but it's a lot more fun. And you, Diane, you and I both know a lot of people in the music business, a lot of people in the film business, that you're hopeful that when you meet that person in real life, that character, their actual real character, the character of their spirit is warm and endearing and humble. Humility is such an important thing in this industry.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
It is like, I completely agree with you. You want to see that person and be, who you hope that when you see somebody that there's a glimmer of the person that you see in the films that you watch, it's funny you say that. There are a lot of actors who, are very private people and they don't, they let themselves go in their films, or maybe they don't like themselves. There's so many issues that can come around it. All I can tell you is, obviously everyone has their right for privacy and respect that.
Sure.
But I just feel like I've been so fortunate to have been working at an early age, to have done films that are today still remembered, but also have positive messages, like even Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures, some positive part of it. And also that, I'm really glad that I didn't have a Pollyanna career.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm more interesting than that. I'm not somebody who's just like, oh, she's so, one-sided. I have a lot of parts of myself and I really enjoy that. I mean, I think that's part of being an actress. or an actor. I liked the actress. Now we say actor, and that's totally cool. But I also thought of as an actress too. I don't know.
You should be proud of it.
I have
proud of either.
I go, why do I have to say actor? I'm an actress. Why do I have to go to become a male name? But I guess we're trying to find the middle of it. So anyway, I think, and I feel like because I've been in the business so long, I now have experiences that I thought every actor did what I did, but I have more experiences than a lot of other actors had or have. So I have a lot to give and I have a lot to share. And
you did a ton of TV commercials.
Yeah.
Tons of them.
Yeah.
And it's good training, commercials, again, like everything's different. Like a soap opera, commercials are different than soap opera work. Soap opera, you have a very good memory, Film, you have to be in the moment and be free and know your character and just experiment. Like you just have to to me, I think the great thing about film is that it's all about the character or the story. If it's about the story, you give into the story, but it really is a chance where we get to know characters and we get into them. Maybe TV is more about story. You have to follow the story and service the story more there. I don't know. And then theater is about stamina, every night doing it, and then just giving something fresh every night. Just, surprise the audience, surprise your people you work with. By the way, I don't know if you know this, I sing and dance, and I used to do musicals when I was a kid.
Well, we were going to have you do some opera. Remember, we were going to have you
opera. Ooh.
Yeah, Rob's an opera singer too, kind of.
Are you? Yeah. We should sing together.
He has the same range as a lot of opera singers, but it's because he's an 80s hard rock singer. But I I like that people are talking flock of seagulls here. Thank you, Charles Thomas, for that. I was going to ask you, Diane, I know that we're taking more of your time here. I appreciate you sticking around for a sec.
Oh, fine.
When you watch movies,
hi, Charles.
does it kill you to watch movies? And are you able to just get immersed and lost in a well-directed movie, or are you still watching roles, characters, breaking apart scripts, I
get involved. I get emotionally involved. Yes, I sometimes have to, if it gets too deep, then I have to, ground myself. Go, wait, no, this is just a movie. But I fall in love with characters, and I definitely, I'm in the world, or I'll look at it and go, oh, that is such a great character. I wish I could have played that, at that age, or what a great act. And then, the other thing is I always give actors their due. Like when I see a great performance, I go online and I try to say, hey, that was a great performance. Because I want them to know, that their work affects all ages,
Sure, absolutely.
I do know this, when you're older actors don't necessarily know what younger actors do, because you're always looking ahead as an actor. Like as a young actor, you look at the older ones and you go, you've grown up with them. You've grown up watching their films. So you put them on a pedestal, whereas the younger ones you may not know. But I try to watch younger ones too and try to go, hey, great job. Like the girl in Borat.
The little Russian daughter.
Yes. I loved her. She was wonderful. Maybe I'm prejudiced because of her, her voice and her dialect that's natural. But I loved her acting, and I felt like she's special. She is not all the time do you see an actress who has that ability, and I was like, you go. So it's just interesting. Yeah.
It's good that you're a coach, and if people come to you, because if you can identify that, if you can say, okay, there's something special about that person, either the sort of the depth of their character or the ability to sort of adapt.
I mean, the truth of the character. I will say this to also other actors. There's a lot of people who are very talented, but no one can give anyone drive. So it's the ones, there's a lot of people, I'm sure you've seen this with musicians. There's a lot of musicians so talented. You may be like, oh my gosh, why did they stop playing? Or why did they stop being in a band? They have a gift. They almost have an obligation to keep performing because they're so talented. Like sometimes I meet people and you go, I'm sorry, you're going to have to be an actor because you have no choice. You're so talented. The world needs to hear what you do, see what you do. But no one can give you that drive. And if you don't have the drive, it's not going to happen. It's kind of your yes, but, and so I have to say that you might be a very talented person, but that's why the entertainment business perhaps is not for everyone. It doesn't mean that you have to stop performing. Maybe you do something local, you keep it alive somehow. But don't get down on yourself if it's not the thing, everyone's got their own story to tell, their own world. And, you have just as much as right to play it from front of friends than you do to go into a big stage. Everyone's just keep doing it because it's a gift. Not everyone has the gift, right?
I got to tell you, you are. The fact that you have this perspective, right? Because you've been doing this for a while. I mean, now that you're 29, you've done this for a few years, then a lot of people get jaded. They do take things for granted, right? And they wouldn't take the time to express this advice or some real important life lessons, because it's not just about the entertainment business. I've talked to a lot of musicians on this show about this same thing you talked about, the ability to have, amazing musical chops, right? There are a lot of people we know that go, they'll go multiple years in very expensive music schools, and they come out as the cock of the walk. They come out, so arrogant. They'll move to LA, right? I'm going to be the next big rock star. Yep. They show up as if they've already won Grammys, and all of a sudden then
it doesn't happen.
And as you know, there are a million amazing musicians in LA, and that the ability to play that well is about 30% of what it really takes to become successful, right? Because in the music industry, you've got personality. You've got, if you can't hang with bandmates, if you can't hang with management, if you can't hang with your fans and really be approachable, this day where it's social media and the word can get out to ruin your career, then there's no way you're going to survive, right? You could be the most amazing musician.
I'm going to give some excellent advice for musicians too. I mean, okay, so first of all, confidence is absolutely very important. Yes, you need confidence, okay? But you need to be you need to be your number one fan, and not, if you don't get something, why are you believing? Like, if it didn't work out and you really are confident, or if you believe in yourself, then why did you take that seriously? Just move on to the next thing and don't give up. But also, I'm going to say this. If you're a king who is narcissistic and doesn't care what anybody else thinks, and then there's another king that is altruistic and caring, which king would you want? Which would you want to be? You'd want to be the king that can hold the power, but you can give to others. Oh, I have a really good example. I'm going to go with this, and this is fascinating, okay? Because this will really, really be helpful for people. Think of it in like a deck of cards, okay? So a deck of cards is like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and Jack, Queen, King, and then there's the ace. All right. So if people in a sense of status are a deck of cards, you might be a 2, maybe feel like a 2 to yourself. Those are the people who hide in their room and don't want anyone to talk about anything. They don't want to talk about anything. They feel low status. That doesn't mean they necessarily are. Right. They just feel that way. Okay. So low status would say up to 5. Okay. So when you're thinking, when I'm explaining this, think about where you see yourself. Okay. Right. Then 6 through 10 is the middle status. That means the manager, people who are in the middle. They're the people who can talk to the lower numbers, 2 to 5, but they are good. They're people. Like they love people, and they're very social, and they like to talk to people who are rich people, but they also can talk to poor people, and they're very good managers. They're like incredibly good people in the middle. Maybe agents or managers could be in that section too. They're just really good middle people, right? Then there are the Jack to the King, and the Jack to the King are the ones who want high social status. They want to be rich. They want fame. They want to be at the top. They are like the president of a company. They are the CEO, and they wouldn't think ever of talking to a 2 or a 3 or a 5 or even a 7 or an 8. They were like, I am a king, queen, jack. They are up there. Now we have the ace. What is the ace? The ace is like God, or it is like the ultimate dream of charity and the highest you can go. All right. The ace is the only card that can talk to everybody. He can talk to the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5. He is the one where we, in a sense, would like to hopefully aspire to. Maybe you don't, but the idea is that really that is what we're looking for. The person who can be the ace and get along. Because remember, the ace is the top card, but it's also the bottom card. It's 1. Right. So when you think of yourself, ask yourself, where am I in a deck of cards? And by the way, there is the Joker, who tends to set things on fire, or does do things, I have to say. Right? You never know about the Joker. He could be the really funny one in class, or he could blow up a building. So
that was me in the 80s. That was Joker in the 80s.
Yeah, watch it. Yeah, the Joker. Just watch the Joker. They're very entertaining and they're very amusing, but just what kind of Joker are you? Hopefully just the funny kind. So anyway, right. But yeah, so it does make you think. So I think in terms of musicians, you may see your playing style as a king, but if you're emotionally a 2, you gotta love yourself more. You gotta bring it bring yourself, and the more you love yourself, the more you can then give love. You cannot give love if you don't give it to yourself. And I really mean that. And and actors do it too. They think that they have to berate themselves and hurt themselves in order to create. You don't. You don't.
Any artist. No. Any artist.
Yeah, you might starve, right? But that's just because you're not working. So like, okay, again, don't come to a job needy. But anyway, and there's more. But anyway, you get the ideas.
That analogy is fantastic. Yeah, it really is. I love it. And it's one that I think anybody can sort of take with them and gauge at different times in their life when they're questioning, right? One of the things that I do a lot of times on the show is ask people about their legacy and really the aspirations to become an ace, and I will tell you from my perspective what my goal has been.
What's your goal?
Especially this year. A couple of years ago, I went to Thailand and I was blown away by, there was a former monk that gave me a tour through the temples where I got to meet all these aspiring monks in these monasteries where they were studying all day, every day. Their whole goal was to get to this ultimate unconditional state of love, kindness, compassion, understanding. And to me, that was the Everest. That's the ace, right? For me, if I could get to that point, the Gandhi level, the Christ level, the Mr. Rogers level. I'm a huge fan of Fred Rogers, right? I think if anybody, in a modern day society was like that, somebody that could appreciate anyone, regardless of political stance or, race, color, creed, whatever, sexuality. And so that Everest is unattainable, most likely. But if I have my trajectory in that direction where I can hit base camps along the way, that's my progress. That's I'll never be perfect. I will never be Gandhi. I'm never going to be like those monks.
But I'm going to tell you right now, the key to it is being grateful.
Oh, absolutely.
And I mean, I'm telling you, grateful like you are sitting in a room now. Some people aren't. Some people are not. Oh. You are to have clothes on. I'm talking about. Are you really grateful? And I think that is if you live in the idea of being grateful. And I think, and probably if you say to me, what is the thing that makes me a happy person? I am grateful. I am so grateful for all the things. I never take things for granted. So I think that makes me happy. And I think if you come from a grateful place, look, if you have a horrible parent, a horrible spouse, a horrible life, that I can see that. But you did have a spouse and you did have a parent, and some people don't. And I remember seeing two people argue once, and I thought two people when I was younger arguing, and I thought, oh my gosh, they don't know how lucky they are to have each other to argue with.
Right.
Some people are alone. So
that's a great perspective.
Get it? Like you get that. Like how and I don't know, but hopefully maybe I can inspire someone, even maybe one person who's listening to this. Maybe one person will get it, and that will improve their life.
And that legacy, as you take that with you, when DIANE Franklin's headstone is read, your ancestors, they would read.
Be grateful.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say that. Be grateful because it'll put everything in perspective. And look, it'd be on a gravestone, right? So that makes it even more.
Right. I think anybody that knows you and the people that are in the chat, some of these people have met you, they know you. I've been around you where you exude positivity. And, thankfully, we've been in those situations where, we're hanging out on the beach. We get paid to fly to the Dominican Republic and hang out. But we're around wonderfully creative, beautiful people who are humble. Yep. They're grateful for where they're at.
Yep.
And I think no matter what, so much of that is perspective. You talk about, thank goodness they have another person to argue with. Everybody has an opportunity. Abraham Lincoln had this saying, right? That, you're as happy as you decide to be, right? And man,
did he say that? Did Abraham?
Yeah, Abraham did.
Another Aquarian. I'm an Aquarian, so he's
okay.
Aquarians.
Perspective is key, right? And so
is.
we kind of have sometimes, and if you lose sight of it, you got to have people like DIANE Franklin to remind you that we're all fortunate to have each other.
Yes.
And I'm really grateful to.
And the internet and be able to communicate. And look, I'm fortunate to have everyone who's signed here and like writing things. Oh, look.
Yeah, Craig Phone says totally rad insights with all sorts of little emojis.
Craig, thank you.
Yes, I do want to thank everybody here in the chat. And if you haven't yet, go hit these social media links that are down below. And if you've not yet subscribed to this channel, you better, because this is episode 171. I am closing in on YouTube partnership, I think, today. And so I know this week I'll be in sort of another tier of shows where I can actually work with some different sponsors, and I can bring more creative, better produced shows, but with wonderful guests like my friend DIANE FRANKLIN. So the next time you are on the show, DIANE, I think you, Amanda, and Curtis, we need to have the three of you guys on together, and we're going to do it. It'll be a return, just like we were back in the Dominican, right?
Oh, I'd love that. I'd love that.
Would you do me a huge favor?
Yes, of course.
It's my friend Rob McLean's 51st birthday today. Would you mind just wishing him a wonderful birthday?
Oh, Rob McLean.
Right here.
No, but I'm saying it's your birthday?
Yeah,
really?
It is.
Bon anniversaire to you. Bon anniversaire to you. Bon anniversaire, dear Rob. Bon anniversaire to you.
That is beautiful. Woo! There you go, man. That is the real true heart of DIANE FRANKLIN. You are wonderful. Thank your family. Thank you for sharing your family. Tell your family thank you for sharing you tonight. And I really appreciate everybody.
Heavy? You're kidding you? I mean, it's like I told Olivia, I told Ray, I told Nick. I'm like, I'm going to see Kevin tonight, right?
And they will be on here too. We need to connect because I really want to see them again too.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Folks, if you're out there, subscribe. Tomorrow night, Lynn Francis Anderson, she'll be doing some 3 o'clock Pacific, a little bit earlier in the day. I've got this incredible musician, Robbie Laws, on Friday, who is one of the best blues rock guitarists I've ever seen on the planet, one of the best clinicians and educators online. Next week, we've got another sexy, beautiful actress, Tawny Katane, is going to be on. And I think you and Tawny...
Say hello for me, okay?
Yeah, I think you and Tawny have done some stuff together, right?
Yeah.
I'm friends with her.
Why don't you guys... Yeah. You guys should just come on and chat with her. She's on the 31st. And Rudy Sarzo. I don't know if you were a hard rock fan at all, but Rudy Sarzo, DIANE, he's on the first. So lots of fun guests.
He did the coolest thing with his bass where he'd like pick it up and
he'd lick it.
Really?
Yeah, he did.
He was Quiet Riot, Ozzy Osbourne, White Snake, all those bands. So
Okay.
We mix it up all kinds. But that'll be next week. And if they subscribe, you'll be notified about all of them. So hit DIANE Franklin's social media. Thank you guys so much for being here. DIANE, thank you so much. And
pleasure.
Rob McLean, thank you for being here on your birthday and for giving up your space.
Thank you, DIANE. Thank you so much. All of your insight was, I love all your ideas.
You are awesome. And now we are friends. All right? You and
yes, we are.
Right?
Mes amis.
Mes amis.
Mes amis. Yeah. Bon, wait. Thank you guys so much. You guys have a beautiful night.